guess you answer the question, the approach of, when
Yeah.
people want something, they're like, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is how much I'm paying you. Can you do it? Because I know for me, I set those boundaries even before payment, even
You
before
do it
contract.
so quick, Teresa. Literally, you do it so, like, you're so good at it. When I first, because if people don't know already, I've worked with you. And when I was on that call with you, after we got done, I was like, damn, I hope she likes me. I was like, I feel like, and it wasn't like, oh, because she's mean or anything. It was just like you were asking questions that were like, are you ready for this? And I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, I think I am. But like, I'm nervous. And
You
I
know,
was
from
like,
time to time, I rewatch the video because I like to learn from like my calls and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, girl, oh my goodness.
I was so nervous, but it made me sit here and be like, am I ready to do the work to make the change for this? Because if I don't, I'm giving her this much money for me to not be ready to do what she told me I need to do to succeed, right? So I had to sit there and I was like, man, am I ready for this? Like, am I ready? And I sat there and I was like motivated. I was like, yeah, I am ready. Like, she made really good points. She asked really good questions. And like this feeling I'm feeling, I think is more like, yeah, dude, like I am ready. And I liked your military style, your military style approach because it's like no bullshit, right? It's like, are you ready to do this? This is how this is gonna go. Are you gonna be able to follow this timeline, follow this process with me? Because if you do, you're going to be successful. If you don't, you're not going to get what you wanted back on your investment, right? So after you agree that this is how we're going to move forward, you're now taking accountability that you're going to do the work that needs to be done to move it forward, right? So like
Absolutely.
that,
That was my goal, my hope
yeah.
for you. And if people are wondering, oh, she's here, so it must have worked. Yes, she's here because
It snapped me into shape so quick. And just to talk about like numbers for a second, and this is real facts, okay? I'm gonna like judge you up a little bit right now. The
oh
amount
no.
of money that I spent on your process, right? That was the first time I ever invested money into coaching. So I was like, I was scared, right? I was like, oh my,
Wow.
I'm going to be giving money to somebody. And it, to me, I was like, oh, I'm giving money to somebody that I don't have a promised return on, right? Because you can't promise me a return on anything. You can only promise that if I follow these steps, that there should be a return. But you can't I'm not promising
Absolutely.
this,
Yeah.
right? Which is scary, right? But that's what happens when you get a coach. They're
So fucking scary. Okay,
guiding.
because when I did my whole, I was like,
Yeah, because you have to sit there and be like, I can't promise you anything's gonna happen after this. You know what I mean? That's on you. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna invest this money. I'm nervous. I'm scared. And then I kid you not, not even like 2 weeks later, because it was an 8-week program I think I did with you. And
yeah,
I was like quarter of the way through and it was paid off. Like I think it was like double paid off, actually. I
wow,
think the first client that I got after that was like paid off what I paid for you, plus like significantly amount more, right? And it was because I had confidence in this coaching that I was developing, and that confidence, not even just the skills you were teaching me, just the confidence of knowing that I was taking the step of bettering my business and like really being active on it, immediately made me confident in doing things that I was already doing and was making me do them better and more sufficiently and like confidently, right?
wow,
Which was cool. But then, of course, I implemented the skills that you did and it made sense. And I was able to show up more confident. I was able to be consistent and do what I had to do. So, and they worked, right? Which was cool. And a lot of those things are the reasons why I'm able to run my business by myself, is because of the systems and the tools that you gave me and, found out worked for me. It gave me clarity, right? And niching down. Before I was kind of like, well, I work with like passionate people. And we were like, okay, well, whatever that means. Like, whatever. And like my clients were like all over the freaking map, dude. Like they were all
yeah,
over.
wow,
And now like I
yeah.
really have like a consistent, like, I'm
Ain't
telling
that
right
crazy?
people and they're like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, like I totally see the value in that price. Like, no doubt. Like, let's move forward and do this. Like, there's no disconnect there. And before I was working with clients where they were like, oh, well, that's kind of expensive and I don't really want to spend that much money. And I was like, okay, okay, and it was
Yeah.
disappointing because I was like, oh, I feel like I'm putting the work out there, but I wasn't. Like, I wasn't really showing up for myself the way I was supposed to, and I wasn't expressing the credibility of my business the way I was supposed to. So I was getting people that were like, oh, I thought you just do like logos. And I was like, no, I don't.
Wow,
And
wow.
so, I had to express what it is that I'm really delivering, with the tools that you gave me. So, yeah, I did it. It worked. And
Guys,
that
I
was
want you to
so
know
much
that this was
happened.
not the plan of this.
This was not. We didn't know we were gonna get along super well and then like
Yeah.
be collaborating all the time, but it just
No,
like
it's crazy. It's crazy because I really
and
found,
also
yeah,
we know a lot of the same stuff, so we should have butt heads a lot because we come from the same realm and we were talking about a lot of the same things and you were telling me things that like I was like, well, I already know that, and you're like, yeah, well, you're not doing it, and I was like, well, you make a good point. But I still already knew that. And that's like what you need to do when you hire somebody like a brand strategist or a brand designer, right? You have to trust them that like, oh, you can't look in a mirror, no matter who you are. You can't look in a mirror and be able to perfectly depict what you look like. You literally cannot do that.
I feel
You
like
need
that's
the
so
outside
crazy. Yeah.
perspective of someone who's not up here in your brain. And you need that with your business too. You need an outside perspective. I've talked to people who've had their business for 12,